Hey, how's it going, guys? Jack and Matt here with the Toasty Bros, and today I'm kind of embarrassed to say this, we're going to be doing a $4,000 streaming setup.
This is totally outside our comfort zone, but with big thanks to Corsair and again Micro Center for sending over the parts that make this $2,000 PC possible, we're going to be building a streaming setup that's honestly going to be way better than anything we actually have. So let's go ahead and talk about the parts.
So if you guys haven't already seen the video, you can check the eye in the top right corner, link down below. This is a $2,000 gaming, streaming, editing, really like anything computer, and it has a 3950X in it. It has 32 gigs of RAM. It has a 1 terabyte NVMe drive, has a 2070 Super, and an X570 motherboard. I mean, honestly, this build, we did not mess around like making it look all crazy. We just messed around with making it work really well.
And also the peripherals, as we mentioned, were mainly sent over by Corsair / Elgato, same company basically. But we have some Elgato streaming stuff with their key light and capture card and Elgato Stream Deck, and then we also have some peripherals from Corsair to kind of tie everything together. So how we do a quick rundown of every single individual part, how it makes up this streaming setup, and then we'll dive into putting this thing together. It's gonna be kind of crazy.
All right, so to go over the monitors real quick, now you could go so many different ways with this. We have dual 240Hz 1080p monitors. This one's IPS, this one's not. We're kind of aiming at this ViewSonic XG270 to be like the main monitor because it has the IPS display, but really they're very similar. Besides that, it does come with the little flaps here to do competitive gaming and everything. But honestly, for streaming, editing, gaming especially, 240Hz, this computer will be able to handle both of these monitors. At least we're pretty sure so, but you'll find out pretty soon. And obviously, if you're not really into like streaming, you just want to have a good gaming setup, you could also go 1440. You could get cheaper monitors, even and do triple monitors. These are honestly pretty expensive, and for some people, it might not be the route to go. This one's from our friends over at Pixio. This is the Hayabusa 24-inch 240Hz monitor. That's also pretty freaking insane. The box is pretty heavy. But yeah, we're excited to put these two side by side. I have no clue if they're gonna look good together, but we'll find out. And as we said before, big thanks to Corsair. This is the new Corsair K95 RGB Platinum XT. So this is a full-sized keyboard that has the really cool G macros. So you get 6 macros over here that you can actually bind almost like a Stream Deck. So that's actually really cool. I mean, we have a Stream Deck, but you can also use these for gaming and, you know, other things that you might not be able to fit on your Stream Deck. But this is a beautiful keyboard. It comes with a really nice wrist rest, and honestly, just very excited to check it out. And also from Corsair, we have the MM500. This is a massive, they actually called it the extended 3XL gaming mouse pad. And I really do think it's about the width and, about the width of this box. I have no clue how long it's gonna be. It might honestly take up this whole entire desk. So yeah, it's a really big mouse pad, and I'm excited to see it. And also from Corsair, this is the Glaive RGB. Honestly, it's a really good mouse. I think it comes in a little bit over $50 right now. And it's sleek looking. It has this right here, which this is really cool. You can actually swap out. It comes with like 2 different thumb rests in case you're not one of these people that like the really big gamer style ones. The scroll wheel feels really good. You have 2 macros on the side. You have DPI switches up top. It's one of those mice that's actually very simple, but at the same time, it looks very gamery. It has a really good RGB effect to it. And I don't play MOBAs or anything like that, so really having 50 macros on the side doesn't matter to me, so I'd rather have simplicity like this. And the last thing straight up from Corsair is the Void RGB Elite Wireless headset. This is a $100 headset. It works on PC and PlayStation. So honestly, really good looking headset. I'm actually excited to check this thing out. It has buttons on the side, which that's exciting. We'll probably test out the mic as well, even though we have a Yeti for this, but we gotta test everything. It's 7.1 channel. There's all kinds of crazy cool facts in the back that I'm sure you guys can click on the link down below if you wanna check it out or even buy it.
All right, now we get into the streaming part of this streaming setup. What we have right here, first off, is the Elgato key light. Now, this basically is a very fancy light that hooks up via Elgato's Stream Deck software, or you can use it on its own, but it adds a really nice diffused light to your setup, which if you watch our videos, we have a lot of lighting around this place. And lighting is very important in getting good video quality, especially when you're live streaming with a camera, which more on that later. But these things are really nice to have. They're not a must, but if you are getting a $4,000 streaming setup, good lighting, and especially with the usability and interfaces this has with the Elgato Stream Deck, is a must. And speaking of that Elgato Stream Deck, you all know this by now. If you're a live streamer, you know the Elgato Stream Deck. You can get these macros built in, you can do a lot of programming, do a lot of different stuff to basically do scene switching, cool effects on stream, different things on your PC, different hotkeys. I personally use it to have macros to open programs that I use often, like Premiere Pro, Streamlabs OBS, open up Chrome, a certain website. You can do that all the time using this Stream Deck. So I highly suggest considering one of these if you're a live streamer. Now this part of the setup is actually extremely overkill. What we have right here is the 4K 60 Pro from Elgato. Now what we're going to be using this for is plugging up our DSLR, which we'll talk about in a minute, to be using as a webcam, which is totally overkill for this setup because, well, you could just get a cam link for probably like $100 cheaper and it'll work perfectly fine. But we wanted to showcase this because you could also use this if you want to live stream console gameplay and get really nice 4K 60 pass through on your latest generation console if you want to do that sort of live streaming. But having 4K recording capability on a capture card is pretty nice. It's not just pass through, you can actually get 4K quality into your PC. So if you're very interested in doing some console streaming, this would be worth picking up. Now for the microphone. We went with the Blue Yeti. Now, of course, with a $4,000 setup, if you wanted to cut corners in a little bit of places and get a proper XLR setup with really nice audio, you most definitely can do that, and I would actually suggest you do that. The Blue Yeti is a solid microphone, but it is not perfect, but it is going to do a good job at keeping our setup, well, performing very well and have good, decent audio with a, well, sound controlled room with not a lot of background noise. It'll perform very well. You can also get a mic arm if you want to, and we'll leave suggestions down below for different things if you want to upgrade the setup even more. But the Blue Yeti, decent budget mic. It's pretty famous. Most of you know about it, and I highly suggest you consider it when picking up your first microphone. Now, as we mentioned, this is our camera. This is a Panasonic G7, which in the description, we have a price for you buying them used around the... When you're buying these new, you're probably gonna be paying around $500, which is a decent price for this camera. We've used these for all our videos here on the channel. Jax is recording on one right now. We actually own 3 of them at the moment, but they're really awesome 4K cameras, but they do work very well with clean HDMI out into that capture card to be used as a webcam, and I use them on my live stream over on twitch.tv/ToastyBros. Beautiful lower third made by Zach. But this right here is a really awesome camera to get into professional camera quality when you're live streaming, and all you really need to get this set up is a power adapter, which is basically a DC adapter, as you see it dangling down here, that plugs directly into the camera to keep it running on power 24/7 as opposed to having to change batteries all the time, and then a mini HDMI to full HDMI cable that'll plug into the capture card, add it into OBS, and you have yourself a working camera setup. So, oh, and lastly, a tripod is useful to actually mount the thing somewhere on your desk. So we're gonna go ahead and try to fit all this stuff on this desk. It's gonna be kind of cramped, but we're gonna go try and make a really crazy $4,000 streaming setup.
No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. No one ever sees me, I'm losing every battle. Can somebody save me, I'm losing every battle.
All right, guys, as you can tell, the setup is all put together. Now, quick rundown real quick. We ended up only using one of the key lights because we had very limited desk real estate. Jackson, if you want to go stand next to the key light real quick and show how beautiful it is.
Check this out, guys.
We also have the ability to change the settings using the Elgato Stream Deck. We can make it really bright, really dim. We can turn it on and off using the far left one. You can adjust brightness, and yeah, it's really cool with the Stream Deck integration. We also have the camera setup going here with another G7, which actually looks really nice. But as we mentioned, we used one key light mainly because we didn't have a whole lot of desk space. Definitely if you use two of them, you have way more lighting control, and we also have a lot of lighting in here already. So we'll leave the option for you to get both of them down below if you want better lighting. And everything else looks really clean. So what we're gonna go ahead and do is load up a stream over on twitch.tv/ToastyBros, stream to our loyal Twitch viewers, and do our morning stream while also playing a little bit of games to test the setup out. So let's go do it.
So what we're doing, guys, is testing a $4,000 streaming setup. Just for the people at home watching on YouTube, this will be the beginning of it. We have the Panasonic G7 plugged up right here, and the key light adds a lot of nice functionality to lighting. So we can up the brightness if we want to, can blind ourselves, or we can drop it down a little bit and get more of a natural light right here. Really, you only need one of these if you have decent lighting in your room. It adds a good key light. Desktop. You see this live?
Desktop.
Oh my God. I'm not used to a full-size keyboard. It's just like everything's shifted over. Okay, so now we have main, desktop, gaming. Boom. There you go.
Stream Deck. Powerful card.
Are you seriously running a G4560 with 64 gigs of RAM?
Yes.
Okay, who's breathing into their microphone? God, I kept hitting the macro key instead of escape. Dear God. How do I mute this guy?
You gotta go tap.
Oh, VoIP volume. There we go.
Oh, you can do that.
How does it look, guys? Does it look pretty smooth to you all on stream? Is it looking nice? I'm running desktop capture right now, actually, because I think that's actually how we got the MSI Afterburner thing to show.
So Matt and I actually both did our first build together. We both had computers before we did a build from scratch, and we upgraded them multiple times, you know, like as kids, which that was before we were even probably like 12 years old. But I think it was when we were 12 or 13. We built my first computer together in my basement, which was like terrifying because it's not like it's like a freaking quarter basement. It's like, it's basically just where it looks like a dungeon.
It's a cage.
Yeah.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Shadow of the Womb Raider.
The Womb Raider. So this is going to be a test on like high-end games. Boom, here we go.
Ooh, we're doing this, guys. Highest settings. 107 FPS while streaming.
That's pretty sick.
Dude, what the hell?
What the?
Man, that is crazy. Sorry about the MSI.
You can kind of catch what's going on.
117 FPS, 118.
I'll try on display capture for a minute and see if it'll perform fine, and then we'll run with that. Is this on pro settings? Yes, it is. Well, it's not saying much, but in the menu we're getting over 300 FPS, so that's something. But we'll dive into a game. Keep in mind too, when you're running on pro settings, you're really giving up. Not pro settings. Yeah, when you are running on pro settings, you're really CPU bound. So running X264 like we're doing right now might not be the best idea. You could very easily stream using NVENC and most definitely probably get locked 240. So in terms of gaming performance, you'll get better performance if you're streaming using the NVENC encoder. So keep that in mind if you're trying to get a locked 240, which this is definitely capable of because when we did the actual video itself, it was more than playable. Hell, oh, I am getting attacked from multiple angles here. This ain't good. I can't pull him out of the boat? That's weird. Jackson did that a ton. Yeah, we like playing with viewers sometimes. When we get, it's just really hard to set up. Ah! I'm dead! Goodness, I got attacked. Ah! All right, there you go. there's Fortnite. Beautiful game. Beautiful stuff. Fortnite's beautiful. All right, guys. A few more questions. If you have any questions, I will, answer them. We'll try our best to. But this is basically our setup. Pretty baller. There are some optimizations you could do, especially if you had better internet. You could probably get a higher bitrate than what we're doing right now. For the people watching home at YouTube, we highly suggest if you want to upgrade the setup, maybe look at an XLR mic. This mic sounds pretty good. It's a Blue Yeti. It's a good mic, but you can definitely go with better audio for $4,000. If you don't want to get 2 key lights, maybe get a better microphone. It's a good option. Stream Deck's awesome. Lighting, it's pretty baller. Can't complain about this. But yeah, the setup is really nice, and I feel like it does a good job for what its intended purposes is. So let's go ahead and wrap the video up real quick.
All right, guys, so you just got to watch some actual streaming footage from this PC, and honestly, this thing does a really good job. I mean, the PC obviously carries most of the weight. The PC alone, like we said, is $2,000. You can't change that in this setup specifically, but these peripherals, monitor, keyboard, mouse, and all this extra stuff, that's an extra $2,000 on top of that. So you could cut corners and make this more like a $3,000 setup, to make it a little bit more budget oriented. You could get matching monitors that are a little bit lower end, and you could kind of get just cheaper peripherals overall. You could save, a couple $100, $200 in the camera as well by just going with a webcam. So there's a lot of ways that you could save money, but if you want to copy this exact setup, just don't forget to use the links down below.
Yeah, this whole setup was pretty impressive. Again, you could definitely, as Jackson mentioned, cut corners. You don't really need 240 hertz monitors for a streaming setup. You could just get a single 240 hertz and a cheaper monitor. That's another suggestion. But this whole tying in thing with the Elgato Stream Deck, the lighting, the keyboard and mouse, all that stuff is really nice, and you're paying a premium for that. So it's not like you're just wasting your money going with this stuff. All the integration that comes together with the Elgato software, the Elgato capture card, and all that sort of stuff is really nice for live streaming. And overall, it's a really, really awesome setup. If you do watch the stream and you have some concerns about maybe some bitrate pixelation, there are some limitations with the internet here at our office. So any live streaming tests we do here might be slightly below the actual standard that you can do with this. But trust me, guys, this has a lot of leg room. That 3950X was basically pegged at 30%. It was not any higher than that when we were actually live streaming on X264. So very impressive setup overall, and I'm very glad we got a chance to put this together. And Corsair was nice to help out.
So big thanks to Micro Center for helping out with the build, and of course Corsair for providing all these amazing peripherals. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
Goodbye. I don't know what to do with my hands.
I know, you're like,